The City College of New York is on the unceded land of the Lenni Lenape peoples. We ask you to join us in acknowledging the community, their elders, past and present, as well as generations to come. We acknowledge the erasures of many indigenous peoples, and this acknowledgement demonstrates a commitment to beginning the process of working to dismantle the legacies of settler colonialism.
Wow, it's so cold. What a warm fire.
Did you think that was the sound of a real fire? It was actually just this plastic bag the entire time. And that is the magic of Foley. Now, you might ask, what is Foley? Foley is the art of making live sound, and it's used all the time in movies and also in theater. Oftentimes when they're filming movies, they don't pick up all of the noises that you would normally hear in real life. And that is where a Foley artist comes in. A Foley artist will recreate those noises live in a studio. Although oftentimes what we're seeing on screen doesn't match what we're actually hearing. Did you know that sometimes Foley artists will use the sound of sizzling bacon to recreate the sound of rain? Foley art can be super fun, and today we're going to try and make Foley sounds at home. Now we're going to explore how we can make different types of sounds using all sorts of things. There's no right or wrong answer. First, let's try making some noises with our voices. Let's see. All right, now how about our bodies? What type of sounds can we make with our bodies? Let's see. Snap, clap. We can use the wall. And we can also use household objects. So remember before we used that plastic bag all crumpled up to make a fire noise? Let's see, here I have a set of keys. What can we use this to make? Let's see. We could use it to make the sound of someone trying to get into a door. Or I think it sort of sounds like someone walking along in a heavy set of armor. What do you think? The next step is to use all of these sounds to enhance a story. Now I'm going to read aloud a short story, and while you're listening to the story, I want you to think about all of the different sounds that you might want to make to go along with the story, okay? And you can grab a piece of paper and a pen so you can write it down if you want. And once you've written down all of your sounds, I want you to think about all of the materials you might want to use. If you want to grab maybe a metal pan or some popcorn kernels, whatever you think might work. Make sure you ask an adult before you borrow anything from your house, okay? So after we've read the story, you can pause the video and gather up all of those materials. And then when you're ready, you can unpause and we'll try and go through the story one more time with all of the sounds added. Ready for the story? Let's go.
Last night, I woke up to the sound of rain pounding against my window and wind whipping through the trees. I sat up in my bed and I heard the clock ticking ever so slowly. It almost seemed like time was standing still. Just as I tried to get back to sleep, I heard footsteps inching closer and closer to my bedroom door. My heart began beating louder and louder in my chest. Then, the footsteps suddenly stopped. There were 3 loud knocks on the door, and the handle slowly began to turn.
We're back. Did you gather up all of your materials and think about your sounds? I think I'm most excited about the heartbeat sound, and I think I can use this shirt to make it. What do you think? Does that sound like a heartbeat?
How about this next sound using rice? Sure sounds like rain to me. What do you think this sounds like?
Maybe the ticking of a clock.
Alright, so now we're going to read the story one more time. And while you hear the story, I want you to make the sounds along with it as we go, okay? So for example, if I am hearing the line, my heartbeat louder and louder, I would use my objects to make my noise. Alright, now let's give it a try.
Last night I woke up to the sound of rain pounding against my window and went whipping through the trees. I sat up in my bed and I heard the clock ticking ever so slowly. It almost seemed like time was standing still. Just as I tried to get back to sleep, I heard footsteps inching closer and closer to my bedroom door. My heart began beating louder and louder in my chest. Then, the footsteps suddenly stopped. There were 3 loud knocks on the door, and the handle slowly began to turn.
Nice work! How do you think adding sounds enhanced our story? Did it make it scarier? Was it more exciting? Do you think you could trick your family and friends into believing that those sounds were coming right out of the screen? If you want, you can go back in the video to where we tell the story and try a whole different set of sounds. See if you can create different moods or if you can make it even scarier. I personally was wondering what was on the other side of the door after it creaked open. If you want, you can write the ending to the story and add even more sounds to experiment with. Another idea is to try finding clips from your favorite movies and TV shows, putting them on mute, and experimenting with adding sounds and recreating them on your own. There are tons of resources online about Foley art. This is just a beginning. We've put some links in the description to this video if you want to learn more. I hope you had fun experimenting with Foley today. I know I did. Thanks so much for joining me.